short. And depending on how you did during the week kind of impacted the order. I want to say I remember, you know, because the water's real clean on the first one. Doug might have some memories of that also. I also, though, more importantly, remember being taught empathy, equality, and kindness. And I remember being taught over a period of time not to lie, because she quite frankly told me one day, and I got it, "You're really not any good at it." A little bit about my dad. I was looking back and I realized I was blessed with a lot of quality time, because when it was cold and nasty and I was delivering newspapers, Dad was an early riser, and I got took around on those harsh, bad mornings and stuff, and we got to spend an awful lot of time together on those early mornings. And I remember being real little when he was out of the Marines and working to make it go on the farm. He worked for Golden Cream Dairy in Morris, and he had an ice cream route for a while, and I got to go on the ice cream route. And I got to go in the warehouse. And I saw where they stacked the chocolate up in great big 4x4 combos. I went, my gosh, just leave me here. And I also learned on that little stint there, being little, not to put your tongue on a cold pole. And a little later on, we were living in Windham. I got to ride with him, being a little older, through the farmlands, the backcountry of Iowa and stuff, as he went from implement dealer to implement dealer, selling combine accessories. So, but what I really remember about my dad is teaching me about persistence, and you don't quit on stuff. You know, once you start something, you finish it. Don't have enough time to talk about two wondrous grandmas. I was blessed with the two most wonderful grandmas. Just remember so many wonderful, wonderful times with them and the major impact they had on me. And there were some other ones too I wanted to highlight a little bit. I have an Uncle John who's sitting right out here. And I had an Uncle Cleo who produced Cousin Doug, who's around here somewhere. And they both had farms. We spent a lot of time on those farms. And I'm probably fortunate to be here, because either one of those uncles would probably have gladly killed me on at least 2 or 3 different occasions. I was instrumental in leading my younger cousin Michael in the destruction of a Ford parked in the woods that John had visions of restoring someday, but not after I was done with it. Not one of my brighter moments. And I remember my Uncle Cleo out on the farm and my cousins out there. Learned a little bit about don't fool around with other people's stuff. Don't be cruel. And I learned a little bit about guilt and shame and personal responsibility on those farms as well, doing kind of dumb stuff. So just a little example on how those other people around you influence you as well when you're growing up. Bud, thanks for not killing me when I smashed the windows out of the car. My siblings. All those early years, Debbie was my best friend. Then we started growing up, and we've still been very, very good friends, but it was me and her plodding along together for a long time there in those early years. And my little brother Keith came along when I was probably about 8 years old. He was pushed him around in a stroller. I got these fond memories of pushing him around a stroller in Detroit Lakes and stuff before he could talk and give us those smart aleck little things back. And to some degree, I still push him around. Yeah, okay. I agree with that. And then there's my little sister Karen. And one of the things I remember about her is she was born when there were kind of some tough times going on. And I just simply put down that I think she was something, when she came along, she kind of anchored the family back. We had something to focus on. And look how she turned out. I have 3 wonderful children and a wife who constantly reinforced one point with me: be patient, they're not done yet. There were times I wanted to turn them into taters, but Never happened. And now I have a son named Chad, an immensely talented son in both graphic design and music. And as he's getting a little older, he's also, like his father had to learn, become a little more tactful as well. You're doing good, kid. You're doing good. Just keep it up. And then there's Travis. Let me see here. One of the things I did want to say about Chad was he was always in the back room practicing on this guitar and never got in trouble. It dawned on us years later, listening to some conversations, that he never got caught. And then there was Travis, who always got caught. And has grown up to be a business person, a management executive, and what I'm ready to call a steady Eddie. Who'd have thunk it? Way back then, you know. But you know, some of the challenges Travis faced being a multifaceted individual. They call it ADHD, I call it a personality. Taught him about tact and kindness as well, and made him what he is today. And then we have Sabrina, Mrs. Mom. 3 on the turf, 1 on the way here, anytime. The girl who used to practice microbiology in her bedroom with leftovers is, you know, turned into this wonderful mother. Keeps a wonderful house, which she's in the process of putting together again. Do you know how much space on 2 trucks, 260 moving containers take up? She has her hands full at the moment, but hey, looking at these beautiful 3 beautiful grandchildren, and the patience and the tact that she has, and it's amazing to see how they've ended up here. I just want to point out to you, Sabrina, that not only are you a great mother, this young lady has incredible writing skills and an eye for design, and there's more ahead of you yet as well, too. So, you know, yeah, pop this kid out and get back to school, okay? In your spare time. And then there's Rosie. There's Rosie. I got to make this quick here. There's Rosie. I had a friend in high school said, "You want to go on a blind date?" I said, "Nope, I did that once. I ain't going to do it again." And he says, "Okay." So the guy at the table said, "Hey, I'll go on a blind date." I says, "Yeah, but you're going out with Nancy." He says, "Nah, Nancy and I aren't doing so good." He says, "Well, you go on a blind date, I'll ask Nancy to the prom." Richard goes on a blind date with Rosie. I take Nancy to the prom, both which ended disastrously, from what I understand. And a few weeks later, Wayne goes, "You should really go on a blind date with this girl named Rosie." And Mom and Dad were out of town. I was lonely. Why not? And the rest is history. She almost did scare me off, though, because when I went to meet her and pick her up, there were 70 relatives in the backyard, and I had to go in the backyard. So it's amazing we even got here at all. But I got lucky in life and ended up with this wonderful, wonderful partner. So, and with that, I think I want to call my brother and my son up here at this point, and I know they're skilled. As far as I'm concerned, y'all might be in trouble. You suppose we got some sound here at this point?